Oh, the whole thing is literally upside down.
Oop, that didn't sound good. All right, so a little different kind of video today. We've actually got a bunch of stuff to do on both of the cars. So today's gonna be kind of a unpolished video. It's gonna be more like a vlog style because here's what's going on. I installed that 17-inch screen in my wife's car. That's gotta come out because she wants the electric sunshade back up in there. But also, here's what we're doing. I finally get to close up this, which is the tow hitch case thing, cover the back up because my wife doesn't like it undone. However, see those bikes? My son and I ride like 2-3 times a week, and so we're always using my wife's car. It drives her crazy, so this is what we did. I just went and had a tow hitch installed by a company called Torque Lift on my Model 3, which it's super cool how they did that because we actually got one of those eco hitches, so this thing can actually drop down and come off if I don't want to see it there all the time. Pretty cool, but I'll show you all that later. But here's the challenge. So as you guys may remember, we had a body kit on the car. This extra fin on the back, and then I had a diffuser down here, but it had to be taken off because I had to get the hitch put on. So it is in this giant pile right here, and we are going to see today if I could cut a hole in this for the hitch and get this thing fit back on there. I'm not like amazing at this kind of stuff. I do have a Dremel tool and I have some measuring devices. I have a heat gun and a bunch of 3M tape. So we're gonna give it a shot. Now I knew I would probably be taking this back out because I'm always installing different things in this car. So I did not hardwire this in. This actually plugs the screen into the 12 volt. So you can see the wire is just tucked inside of all of the siding here. So it's really easy for me to get it back out. And of course the rest I just tucked underneath of the floor mat. So all I have to do is just remove this, which is what's really neat about this is if you don't want this in all the time, but maybe you got a road trip for the family coming up, like we don't let our kids just like watch TV every time we're in the car. It's only on like a long road trip. It's real easy because this is not complicated to get in. You just simply put it in Cricut, twist it, and it just goes between the liner and the glass, just these little clips. And then to take it out, we're just gonna twist it and remove it. It's gonna be very simple. But putting that electric sunshade back in, not so simple. However, I left the wiring tucked into the trim, so it shouldn't be too terrible. Where's the widest part of this car? Is it in the back or the front? I think it is in the back, so I'll pull it back a little further. It's a little bit tighter than I remember it being. Definitely way looser in the front. That's more like it. That's what it's supposed to be like, just that easy. Also, still talking about the screen, one thing that we discovered about this too is that on these tabs here, you know, they do some like carpet or like, I don't know, some kind of material on them. So it's not like it's exactly metal touching, but if you go over a bump and it makes it kind of like not be perfectly tight in there, it starts making this terrible like creaking noise. And they do give you these little rubber stickers, rubber padding. If you can get them in there, things like these you can use to shore it in there so it doesn't move around and make noise, but I didn't do that. But if you do install that, you want to make sure that doesn't move because otherwise that noise can drive you crazy. Now we're going to install that electric sunscreen back in there again. So this is really all the hardware I need. It's just these two little tabs that connect to the screen, two little screws here. Grab a screwdriver and an electric one. Actually put them somewhere I can reach them this time. Get the doors and the trunks all open. This is kind of a big, awkward thing to move around. All right, now I just need to grab the unit itself. It's actually pretty heavy. So I don't know if you saw the initial install video or not, but we're gonna take this, slide it over the seats here, and then these tabs right here after we connect the power cord, which again, is just tucked in up there in the trim. We're just gonna hook this on the back and then pivot the front up. Then we use those two connectors and screw it in. It's actually not complicated, it's just awkward. Usually I do this with two people, but today we're gonna attempt it just me. I'm just now realizing I probably should have laid those seats down first. Let's try this again. My thought was that if I didn't lay the seats down, I could use them to kind of hold this up while I snap everything together, but it's gonna be a pain getting it through there with those seats up, so I'm gonna fold them over. Okay, let's try this again. How to find that wire. Oh, I always do this. I do everything backwards. I make everything so much harder than it needs to be. I gotta pull this thing out again because I need to get up here and I can't get there because all this is here. All right, let's see if I can find it. I can't imagine that I tucked that wire so far in here that I can't reach it. I was kind of hoping it'd just be like, just laying right there. What did I do?
You ever heard that statement that you're your own worst enemy? Yeah, I redefine that. Crazy.
Well, shoot, man. I can't believe I did this. So apparently I pulled the wire all the way back to here. I think it was because I intended on taking this whole wire out and hardwiring that screen in. But now what I'm gonna have to do is I have to now run this back in here, pull this all down, and then punch this over up here so it can then plug back in. I seriously thought this was just gonna be a simple swap out project. All right, well, a bunch of tape and swearing later, here's where we're at. I've devised this very useful tool, and they sell it at Safeway, to hold up the back of the sunscreen. I then have this pulling cord cable thing coming through to the other side, which is attached to the wire that actually goes to the sunscreen itself. So I thought I had screwed up by pulling the wire back through, but the reality was it was the wire attached to the sunscreen that went through this. So all that being mad at myself for nothing. Let's see what happens here. Underneath here is literally nothing but just like thick foam that goes along the frame here. There's really nothing you can hurt through here. You could even pop this down, but I don't like doing that if I don't have to. Oop, that didn't sound good. And we're there. Now that this is off, I can disconnect that and then we can plug in the power, which I will do after I get the whole thing installed up there. I'm gonna pull this whole thing through, finish installing the rest, then we'll connect the power at the end. Oh, man. I am not good at this. Look what I just realized I just did. The whole thing is literally upside down. The whole freaking thing. So I've got to now flip this thing or I have to take it out somehow. I don't think I have room here to spin this thing. Unbelievable. Okay, fix it. So that's what it's actually supposed to look like on top. This is the bottom. So now we're ready to slide it and get it on. So the back is up. Now I just gotta get the front up. Man, how am I gonna squeeze in here? Guess I gotta put the seat back. So this gotta go up and back. Oh, pull these out of the way. And these just slide up here. Oh man, I remember this part being brutal. All right, now that that's all in, just gonna connect these wires right here. Nothing exploded. Let's go test it out before I put these wires back tucked in. Here we go. Definitely one of the best accessories I've ever installed. Very, very cool. All right, so that's the first two projects done. We got the screen out and we got the electric sunshade in. Now we're gonna go over and see if we can't get that diffuser back on my car. So first we get to put this back on the Model Y, which my wife hates us off because she thinks it looks stupid. But because I never have to use her car again to haul all of our mountain bikes, so excited about that. I get to put this on. I mean, here's the deal. So like last week, I was like really excited because look at this. I just picked up this Specialized Turbo Levo Comp. So it's an electric e-bike, awesome bike. I have had surgery on my knee from a bad motocross wipeout. So my usual bike, which is this pivot switchblade, which I absolutely love, but it's, you know, analog. I haven't really been able to ride it that much because my knees always bother me. So with my son joining the cross country racing team for his school, we're gonna be doing a ton of more riding together. So that's why the hitch. So look at how this hitch works. So they basically cut this hole in the bottom of your Tesla back here. And this piece right here is just bolted on right there, but it's tight. It's not like it's gonna come off easily. I didn't have them do the wiring or anything, so I'll never tow anything that has wires on it. It's just for a bike rack. But the neat thing is, if you really don't want this on here, you can remove it, and that's what's super cool. There is a downside though. I used to have a kick plate sensor right here. They had to disconnect that because that's where it would go. You could technically move it over here or something, but yeah, that's just floating in my trunk now. So my thought is that since I'm pretty much going to be chucking this anyway if I don't use it, I wonder if I could just cut out that section and get it on here. It doesn't seem like it would be too hard to do. The question is just going to be how to fit it in. There's no gap. Well, let me rip this thing off. No way. Oh, it's so close. There is a gap right on the very top there. There is a gap. It can go, but it's just a little bit too much. All I gotta do is just cut a little tiny piece off of that, and I'm gonna be able to get this right back on. It's gonna be easier than I thought. All right, so step one is to take these side pieces and get them kind of loose fitted over here. They do all have to be taped, which is a bit of a process. I need to like heat them up because it's like 40 degrees out right now. And make sure they're all nice and clean. And then same thing with the car. I got to get this all cleaned up off of the car, but I'm just going to get it kind of fit in here. So I'm going to finish unscrewing these. They all have these 10mm two of these on both sides, and then these will go on. Like I said, I'm just gonna put these on kind of loose right now, just so I can get everything fitted, get everything cut like it needs to be, and then I'll come and do it all properly later. So as you can see here, that the rear diffuser sits on here and kind of screws through those two spots there. So that's why these need to be on, to make sure that it's proper alignment. And you know, here's the thing too about these body kits. I mean, they do a beat up job on your car. I mean, here's, you know, paint's been chipped all out here. It's all scratched up. So, you know, I really need to get this back on just to cover all that up. They do definitely put a beating on your car. And when you put them on, you should probably plan on never taking them off. All right, so here's the plan. I put a piece of tape right here where it's gonna be rubbing underneath of the car. And my hope is, man, that looks really dark. My hope is that if I rub it a bunch underneath there on the metal, it's gonna put lines on this tape so you'll be able to see exactly where the rubbing is, and I can just cut that piece off. I have no idea if this is gonna work or if I can get enough friction to even show, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna see if I can't scrape it a little bit here. All right, let's see. Nope. So gotta try something else here. But to be honest, look, you can actually see from just the dust scraping where the hitch is. So I'm just gonna come down here and cut that little piece out there, because I only need like a little bit, and then I think that'll still work. All right, so here's the plan. I've drawn a rectangle of where I'm going to cut with the Dremel tool. I'm gonna do it a little bit wider than where the lines are, just so I can have a little bit of play. None of this is gonna be seen. Like, you don't see anything further down than this, so it's totally fine if this isn't perfectly straight. Now, I, like, you know, not exactly an experienced toolsman here, so I do have a Dremel tool. I have a cutting, whatever this, a disc on it, I guess. I don't know if it's the right one. I got a bunch of them, so I keep breaking them. I guess I'll keep trying it, but we'll see if it gets it through. I think they say safety first or second or something like that, so of course, when those little discs break, I don't want them hitting me in the eyeball. So let's give this a shot. Here goes. Let's see if I got this wide enough. I can see though that we are kind of touching it. I am going to shave a tiny bit off down here just to be safe, just so I don't have to deal with that when I'm in the last seconds of this. It doesn't matter at all. No one's seeing that, so why create more headache for myself later? So I'm gonna do that. It's the next day. It's super cold. I actually had to pull my car into our other garage so I can be somewhat out of the cold temperatures. And it's not that it's like cold, but it's too cold to be doing this sticker stuff. So here's the plan today, to finish up getting this on so we can end this video, vlog, whatever it is. Look at this. Okay, so step one, clean the car and get that drying. Then I'm going to take some Simple Green and clean all along here where the tape is going to be going onto. Then I'm going to take the heat gun and heat it up real hot and then put the tape on it, which just arrived in the mail today, this super strength molding tape by 3M. And then we're going to do the same for these, so let's get on it. Had to do this before twice because I didn't do a good enough job. So this part of it, the prep work, I take extra long when I do these kinds of projects because I cannot imagine ripping this off and doing this twice again. Oh my gosh, I just broke my favorite camera. Come right, camera, fix yourself. I can't believe that came back. It fell off a 3.5 foot table. Okay, it's all done. See, you got the tape on the two side pieces, and then we got it going all along the top. Now, I just need to go heat up that area down there first, do both of the sides, and then we'll be all set to get my son to help me with the back. The tricky part with this one is that this has got to go on just perfectly because I got to be able to get these bolts in here, these screws in here, and they got to fit. All right, here we go. Let's get this cooking. All right, here we go. Come on, let's do this right the first time. That would be awesome. All right, there, I think. That one's good. I'm impressing myself. Sweet. That could have gone much worse. So that was awesome. Hopefully the next one, I have that much luck. Tighten these up before I forget and then just not do it at all. Okay, on the second one, I just made a mistake. I tried putting it on, but I didn't line up the holes quite right, so I have to take it off, put a new piece of tape on there. That's another mistake for the day. Look at this. So much dirt in here. So what's been going on is I actually did have it in the right place, but there was so much dirt in the hole down here that it just wasn't screwing in. So, all right, so this is where we're at then. We got both of the sides on. Now all I gotta do is do some like practice fit here with the big piece before I peel that tape off. And I wanna make sure this all is gonna fit right. So it's gonna have to kinda slide on top. Oh, see, that hitch being there allows me to like slide it up and look at it. That's actually kind of cool. And then when I'm ready, I'll just push it on. This is cool. That means I'm not actually going to need to get help with this. That's sick. Key here is definitely me, just like take it slow, be patient with it. One try, Cody. Come on. We don't got to get this mistake counter up here in the corner any higher. All right. One piece. It's good luck. All right, I'm gonna heat the car up here where this is gonna go. You still see the old tape line, so makes it nice and easy. And then I'm gonna do the tape one more time real quick before I put it in here. It's just that it's like 36 degrees. I don't need this to not work. No, just don't. One more time on the tape. And I might even be able to do it one more time as it's propped up here. So we'll see. So kind of squeeze that in there. Oh, everything is perfectly in place. All right, you know what? I've got to do it one more time. I'm too paranoid. Yeah, so this works great. So if any of you guys are like thinking about installing a diffuser on the back, just go get an $800 hitch put in your car first, and then it just helps it hold right in place. Keeps it nice and centered. It's perfect. Highly recommend it. Here we go. Well, she's permanent now, for better or for worse. That's not going anywhere. And look, fits right with the hitch. I thought there's no way I was getting this back on here. All right, guys, there it is. We got it back on. We overcame the hitch issue and the diffuser is back in place. I'm super proud of myself, even though this like pretty low-key project, not that big a deal. Feels like it's a big deal, okay? Because I was ready to just chuck it, saying there's no way it was gonna work. So I'm gonna take that as a win. If you're still here watching this video, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.